Evening and welcome to today's class. We'll be talking about knowing your customer. I'm sharing my screen. I hope this time around it actually changes on time. Welcome to today's lesson. Today, we're going to look at understanding who our customers are, which is going to be the basis for which our marketing efforts will be based upon. So, do you know your customer? If you know your customer, you know how to sell to them, you know what their pain points are. So, it's going to be very easy offering or rendering solutions to their problems. But if you do not know who your customers are, that is where you have a problem of one, not knowing what to say, two, not understanding how to craft your messages to appeal to them. And then three, of course, if you can't craft proper messages, you cannot make sales. So here we can see a range of shoes, of which one in particular stands out. So the way this red shoe stands out is exactly how we're supposed to be able to tell who our ideal customer is from a crowd. For example, a shoe that is red, if I decide to use the white polish on the shoe, I am going to distort the shoe's appearance, and so I have not done justice to that shoe. And the shoes that are white, if I decide to use a red polish on those ones, I'm going to distort the identity of the shoes. So if I know somebody who owns a white shoe, it will not be wise of me to actually sell a red polish to the person. Just as it will not be wise of me to sell a white person to somebody who owns the red shoe. So these are the things we'll be looking at. Our customer segmentation, what our brand strategy is, and then social media facts and figures. First, before we go on, do not neglect one of the most important aspects of your marketing, which is what? Defining your ideal customer. Think about what the user, which is your customer, is going to type when they want to search for you or the solution you offer, and then stop selling and instead start selling. So before we go into describing who our customer is, we said in marketing, what you do is selling of solution and not selling of problem, right? So for every single thing anybody buys, there is an intent behind that sale. There is an intention, there is a problem they want to solve behind the product they are buying. So somebody does not just wake up one day and say, I just feel like buying a shoe for the sake of buying a shoe. No. It's either they want to buy a shoe because they have a wedding to go to, or they want to buy a shoe because they have a ceremony coming up. Do you understand? Like there must be a reason behind their buying the shoe, or the person just wants to buy a shoe that he can be using to go to work, or buy a shoe for the sake of exercise purposes. So there has to be a reason why the person is buying the shoe. So how do we describe our customer? What do we use in describing our customer? So we need to understand certain things about our customer, the demography, their psychography, and their behavior. What their demography helps us to do is to segment them. If I'm serving a range of customers, let's say I have male as my customer, I have also products that are for females only. And even amongst the females, excuse me, even amongst the females, I have products for single ladies, I have products for married women, I have products for women who are married but do not have kids, and I have products for women who are married and have kids. So these are all would I say, additional segmentations to the customers I have identified. So the way I would sell to each of these segments is going to differ from one demography to another. Then when we talk about typography, what is their personality type? What are their preferences? What do they like? Where do they hang out? What are the kinds of people they hang out with? And all of that. Then their behavior. What are their likes? What are their dislikes? Do they like sports? If they do like sports, what kind of sports do they like? These are some of the characteristics about a customer that we need to understand. So when we know their demography, their psychography, and their behavior, then we need to locate them. Where can we find our customers? Where do I see them? Where do they hang out? Do they hang out on social media? If they do hang out on social media, is it on Instagram that I'll find them, or is it on Facebook, or is it on both platforms, or is it on LinkedIn, or on Twitter, or on TikTok? Where exactly do they hang out? If I know where they hang out, what kind of content do they consume online, right? These are all questions we need to ask. Then, when they want to search for things regarding our product, how do they search for us? So, usually, in order to find out how that is done, there are various ways you can actually go about checking that. But the easiest one and the fastest one is going to Google, right? So, here is an example. Let's say this is one of the ways people search for you online. Then the next thing we go to is understanding their purchasing power. If you've been able to identify who your customer is, what they are, who they are, where they hang out, how they behave, the kinds of people they move around with, then do they have the purchasing power to buy your products? So review the needs and benefits that makes your customers purchase your stuff. If you're just starting out, you don't have anybody yet patronizing you, you may not be able to ask people what made them buy you. That's buy your product, right? So this may not apply to you. But you need to understand, okay, what is a problem they badly need a solution for? Then, why is it important for them to actually find a solution to that problem? If you can nail these, then you've gotten like half of your problem solved. So here are two different brands. One is, they are both polo shirts, but one is a Tommy Hilfiger shirt. The other one is a Mr. Price shirt. What will make somebody buy a Tommy Hilfiger is totally different from what will make somebody to buy a Mr. Price shirt. So also your products. There are people that naturally do not go for high-end products, and there are people that feel low-end products or affordable products are what? Inferior. So you need to understand all of these metrics about your customer. Then connect with your current customer. Reach out to the current ideal customer to gain additional insight into what made them select you or your product. Ask them, how did you originally find out about my products? Here we're using clothes. Why did you originally buy from me? Why do you continue to buy from me? And then what do we do that others do not? So if you as a person do not know how to make this research on your own, then look for somebody around you that you feel okay has the characteristics of that dream client or dream customer you have built in your head. And then ask the person, okay, I am selling so and so. Would you like to buy it? If they say yes, be like, okay, why do you want to buy it? Is it because I have products that suit your fancy, they lie well with you, or you're just patronizing because you're my friend? The more you go deeper into getting responses to these questions, the better you would understand from which angle to do your marketing from. Then what you need to do now is, after having gone through what we just did, you're to create a customer avatar for yourself or for your business. If you have more than one avatar, that's if you have more than one segment of people that you can serve, then you should go ahead and actually what? Create avatars for all of these segments of people you have identified. So, draw your customer and their key outfits, name your customer and state their demographics, describe your customer's personality and preferences, then that is their style and their lifestyle. Then describe your customer's behavior. The next thing we look at is brand strategy. So when they talk about a brand is not just your logo or your business name. A brand is actually the promise you make to your customers. An example here is like MTN. MTN is their brand promises everywhere you go you actually get service. It used to be so one time sometimes ago, but now I know generally network providers are having issues. Another brand that comes to mind is Coke. Coca-Cola promises you that when you're thirsty and you have their products, you feel refreshed, right? So in your own case, what promise are you going to be making to your customer? Huh? You have to think of that. So whatever it is you're selling, what promise are you making them? Is it that your products will not need to be changed till after a year? Is it that your products do not fade? Is it that they do not wither? Is it that they do not spoil on time? What exactly are they getting out of your product? Are you promising them that when they use it, they are going to get this from the product? That is what your brand is about. So, what strategies can you put in place to ensure that, okay, you actually deliver on these brand services of yours? So, we're going to look at what branding is now. Here are several examples. Anywhere you see these products, you know what they're about. You understand what they do. The reason why is not because they have beautiful logos or anything. Apart from it, it is because they have been keeping to the promises they have made over the years, right? So, what are the key things you should consider when creating your brand? Now, what is the purpose of your brand? What is the purpose of your product? Is it um to make life easier? Is it to boost someone's self-esteem? Is it to just think about it, like, what purpose does your product serve? Then you have to be consistent with putting out your messaging out there. You do not come out once, put your message out once, and then you forget about it and go. You always have to be in the faces of those whom you want to serve, those whom you want to prefer solutions to, because you have a lot of competition out there. And if they see you once and you never show your face again, when they need arises for them to actually solve a problem that has to do with your product, they will not remember that there used to be somebody there and then seek you out. Rather, they will go to the competition that is readily available. Then you should ensure you use emotions, right? We are human beings. Human beings are emotional. Most times it is emotions that make us to buy, not the need itself. So you tap into this. By flexibility, we mean you should not say, okay, me, I only serve children only. Like, I only sew clothes for kids of one specific age, maybe only 1 year olds. If you say you're serving only 1 year olds, you have 2 years, 3 years, up to 10 year olds. It means you're canceling, sabotaging your own self from making sales from those other age ranges. Then employee involvement. There is no business that can thrive if it does not have reliable employees. But how do you treat your employees to make them feel like, okay, they are part of you, you're part of them? When you're able to do this, they'll take care of your own business as though it is they themselves that own the business. Then loyalty. Loyalty is simply regards your customers. When they buy from you once, do they still come back, or do they swap customers? If they don't come back, what can you do to make them always come back whenever they need a service or a solution that revolves around your product? Then competitive awareness. There is no single product that will say they do not have a competition in this world. Like, for every product that comes out, there are tons of competitors either already in the business, planning to come into the business, or have come into the business. So you need to know all of these, and then, okay, figure out if this is what all of my competitors are currently doing, what is it that is needed but they are not doing just yet. Then you incorporate that into your own marketing. And here we're taking a look at Coke. Coke is everywhere. Like, almost everywhere you turn, you see either a Coke signboard, or you see a Coke ad, or you see something that has to do with Coke, or you see when you go around shops, you see Coca-Cola has made what do you call them, banners for them that they place on their shops, right? So these are all ways to spread the message about your brand. So here we're going to actually look at a sketch of what your strategy should look like. Your marketing strategy must have these 5 items. One, to begin with, what is your vision? What do you want to achieve in the long run with your products? If you understand what your vision is, what are the objectives you want to obtain or attain immediately? One, is it that you want to get more followers? Two, is it that you want to make more sales? Three, is it that you want to get more connections? What exactly are the goals you want to pursue immediately? Then next, who is your customer? Who do you want to serve with your products? Are they homeowners? Are they business owners? If they are homeowners, are they the husbands or are they the wives? If they are the husbands, where do they work? Do they have the money to afford the kind of products you're buying? When you understand who your customer is, then what strategies do you use to get to them, right? What strategies do you use to get to them? How do you deploy these strategies? That is where the creative idea comes into play. So we said there are 5 components that makes up a sales strategy, right? One is what? Having a vision, a clear vision of where exactly you will see yourself, or you see your business, or you see your products in over a certain duration of time. Then we said the next thing is the objective. What is the objective of this business you're doing? What do you want to gain out of it? Or what is the objective of a particular strategy you're working on? Is it to get engagement? Is it to get sales? Or is it to grow your business? Next, we said is the consumer. Who is your consumer? What problem is your consumer having? What are they facing? What solutions do they seek? Then the strategy, that is, how do you intend to get across to these customers of yours so that you know exactly what it is they're dealing with. And then lastly, we said the creative idea. Your creative idea is simply the different ways you're going to follow in order to reach your customers, right? Now, when we've looked at that, here are a few examples of different brands and what their taglines or their promises are. One, Prada says theirs is to be a premium brand through innovation, right? Then, where design meets functionality, and the name Grey, that's just a label. So Grey, this is for a label called Grey. Then we have committed to satisfying the desires of our customers. As a result, we pledge continuous. So we said we pledge to continuously innovate our business to improve your experience. We promise to provide new designs made from quality materials that are affordable. So what Zara does is, for every new design various designers, top shots, top designers release, Zara creates like a lower grade or lower quality of those designers, but they are good, right? It's not like they use inferior products, but the products they use are not as expensive as those brands at the top. So how exactly do you intend to what? Market your goods and services? So we have the traditional method, which are the products that were used previously when the gunpowder. So we're talking about traditional media and then the new media. So conventional and then the social media. So the conventional one are things we're already used to. We have your NTA news, your channels, television, your radio, your newspaper, and what have you. What makes them is that, okay, if I run an ad on TV, for example, when people see it, like, they cannot relate with the ad immediately and get a response, right? As against if I'm running an ad on Facebook or Instagram, whoever sees it and picks interest immediately can actually either drop a comment in the comment section, send a WhatsApp message, or send a DM to the messenger. So you can see the ways that are being used here are innovative and even easier and smarter than doing it either using the posters, airing it online, and all of on TV and even on radio. So you help solve a problem and then it is open to two dialogue, right? So with the rise of mobile shopping and conversational commerce, building a strong social media following has become an absolute must. But doing it right requires time. It requires time because you don't expect that you just start today. Like, all of the people online, nobody has ever heard of you before, and then suddenly you just come out and you're expecting the whole world to start following you. Like, it doesn't work that way. It takes time. It takes content, meaning you have to put out a whole lot of content, tweaking content, changing different content types, seeing what kind of content your customers prefer. And then the most important of all is that you require a strategy to be able to properly execute your social media activities. So, Nigeria is the number one for internet penetration in Africa. right? So with the most active age is 25 to 35. Google is the most searched site in Nigeria, meaning if you want to find out what exactly your customers are looking for regarding your products, they should go to where? They will go to Google. And so also you should go to Google to find out what your customers want. So we have 72% of social networking sites. That's Nigerians on social networking sites is 72% of the entire country's population. We have 55% emails that are read, and then 46% entertainment on either Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. So the key points are for you to understand how you communicate, make it contextual to platform. Then you should produce content for your audience and not for yourself. Remember, what you assume is the problem is not actually the problem. Ensure there is a way you can actually research to find out, okay, what exactly are my customers battling with, right? So, a big idea is a single unifying thought that states our objectives. An umbrella which everything we do is called what? Idea. So, we all need to have content ideas, and one of such is we need to think about the different ways this idea can come to life. The social objects that will draw people together, and your clothing. Then the places we can tell and share stories. What formats of stories or content do we share? And then what channels, right? What could the content be? How do we find out what content to post where? What are the visual icons that should accompany your message? Who do you collaborate with? How can it be turned into excited activations, right? How will we mix? How will mani- So we were saying, who could you collaborate with? How can it be turned into exciting activities? It could be that you're selling shoes, right? And you now get somebody who is into selling of bags, and tell the person, okay, let's cross promote each other and run a giveaway. Anybody that likes your page, likes my page, and comments on both pages, we actually dash them 30 um 30 quantity of something, right? Or we can say free, what do you call these things? Freebie campaigns or free gifts, where you tell people to carry out certain activities, and in exchange they get to be selected from a pool of people to win the gifts. Then how will it manifest in stores and online? So when your products are online, how do they look? Is it something I can look at once and shop? If they are not online and they are in stores, how do you arrange your stores in such a way that I would find out which I am looking for? And then the next one is, what is the sustainability? What is the tendency that once we start this, there will be no cause for us to stop or for the business to close down after she had connected? Assets for connections. One, your store or your shop. You can actually take videos of yourself in your shop, pointing at different things you have and then showing it to people so they see more of the products. They actually see the real life products, right? Database on social media. It could be that, okay, you have a large following, or you don't even have followings at all, but you run paid advertisements. So the data you've been able to gather from either Facebook or Instagram are your assets, right? Digital platforms. Which of the platforms do you frequent and where do you have followers? Seasonal inspiration. With seasonal inspiration, something could happen at a particular point in time that you could actually be able to relate your product back to, right? Then we have local events. Local events are any events that is what do you call it, presented in your area or in your location or somewhere you have easy access to. Specialist or innovative production method, that's if there is a particular way your products are created and you feel you would want to educate your customers about, it is also going to be part of the assets you use in connecting with them, because the more your customers know about you and your products, the lower their barrier to buying from you becomes, right? Because they will know you, they will like you, and they will trust you more for sharing information that others are not sharing with them. Then your pricing and your offers. When it comes to pricing, you should try to ensure that your price is what your identified targets can afford. Then your offers are, what is that thing that you're doing specially that would make me want to buy your product at a certain time? Are you giving a freebie? Are you telling me to buy one and get one for free? Or you're telling me to buy one today and you discount some amount of money for it from it? What exactly are you giving me to make a purchase of your product at a given point in time? Now we're going to talk about ideas. This is a brand. They have presented Nigerian fabric in ways or in styles that are known with non-Nigerians, for example. So they know the kinds of women they are targeting. This is another one. So these are different brands. They are all dressings, but their demography all differ from one person to the other. And so also you should be able to do that for your business. So all of these put together are things that will enable us to know who exactly our ideal customer is. So going through what is in this slide, I want you to what? Create your own customer avatar. Explain or draw a picture of who your ideal customer is. When you understand this, then we'll now go to the next part, which is our content for these customers that we have identified. Thank you for watching or listening till we meet in the next video.